One thing that we do know is Black women are in jobs that are not serving them, jobs that are either toxic or just stifling the life that you actually want, the dream that you do have for yourself. But another thing that we know is it doesn't have to stay like that. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about some of the reasons that you're staying in your job and how we can convince you in, I don't know, 30 minutes or less, how we can convince you that those reasons, that there's a solution to those problems. Welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter and the creator of House Sitter School, and I help Black women take a sabbatical or a career break or bop around as a nomad or move abroad. Please make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel if any of these things sound interesting to you. Also, make sure that you turn on notifications, ring the notification bell, because you do want to be notified when I have some special guests. Today is one of those days. Hi, special guests.
Hello,
Hello.
Stephanie.
We're talking to two women who have made it their business to get in your business and get Black women out of toxic jobs and into a position where you can thrive, where you can live in a better way and not have to feel like this toxic job or this stifling job or this job that you just don't like is the only option. Welcome, Dr. Rosché. Why don't you introduce yourself first?
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie, for having us back again. I am Dr. Rosché Brown. I am also known as the doctor of rethinking because I help people to remix their thinking so they can make money, manage money, and of course, multiply their money. That's what I do. I'm a financial psychologist, so I like to help people with understanding their mindset and also the practical skill sets needed for their money.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Financial psychologist, you heard of friends. Okay, so whatever your thing is, before we leave today, we're going to work through that thing. We're going to give you anyway, we're going to work through that today. Hey, Dr. Kimani.
Hello, Stephanie. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Kimani. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and a toxic job survivor, and I am ushering in a movement to help as many Black women as I can to leave and heal from toxic jobs. I have a YouTube channel, Lifting As We Climb Consulting Wellness Services, where I talk about my own healing journey and I talk about the healing journeys of other Black women. And I want to teach you how to get out because life is so much better on the other side.
So much better, so much better. So we know that there are Black women from having talked to you two in particular, and just out in the world, we know that there are Black women who are in jobs that are toxic. Can you tell us, Dr. Kimani, what we mean when we're talking about a toxic job?
Yes, yes, yes. So toxic, it can be different for different people, but the main criteria that you can tell is that it's harming you in some way. It's harming you physically, psychologically, even spiritually, to the point where you dread waking up, you dread going to your job becomes all consuming, you have no real life. You talk about your job all the time. Once you leave the job, everybody in your family, your friends know about the job. So that's just a general definition of toxic, but basically it's harming you. It's harming you in some point because toxic is a poison. So that poison is getting into your system and it's poisoning your life. And it can really impact not only the quality, but the quantity of how long you're living. So that's why it's toxic.
The first time, Kimani, the first time we talked on my channel about toxic jobs, I had to stop reading the comments. I had to leave the comments. I knew what Black women's work lives look like from my own perspective, but I didn't know at what level some things were happening. And
Yes.
it's been, I don't know how long, maybe a year or so since that first video. And
Yeah.
I cannot get over the
Yeah.
situations that Black women are in at work. And a good portion of the reason that Black women are in these situations or staying in these situations is the money, right,
Yeah.
Mm,
Roche? We feel
Absolutely.
like this job is our money source
hmm
and we need money to live. And
Yeah.
so that means we need to stay in this job. But the real answer is, or what is the real answer? Is it that we need to learn a different way to look at jobs?
hmm
Or is it that we just need to find a different job? You know?
I think it depends, right? So it depends. I think jobs are supposed to be something that's going to make you feel at peace and give you predictable income, right? But you should have the peace part there too, you know? And I think that, it's important, like, as you're looking at a job, you want to actually take the time to think, what do I need from this job first? Before just going into it, and when just letting it take you away, right? We need to figure out what our needs are. We shouldn't only be focusing on what their needs are at the job. It's not about the employer's needs, it's about your needs, right? And so I think that's what we have to think of when we're changing our mindset around it. I'm not telling people to like never work and only have a business, right? Because that has its own challenges as well, right? Just have a place that feels good to you, that feel like they're pouring into you, they're supportive, they understand like what you're going through. If you have a challenge in your family, that they're able to work with you on that. We want to be in a good space that makes us thrive and gives us that peace and joy that we're looking for in life.
Okay, so your first two answers have shown a lot of Black women that they're in jobs that they don't want to stay in. Okay, so we've defined a job as a job that's harming you, and we've said that our jobs are supposed to bring us predictable income, which is supposed to bring us peace. If the
Yes.
source of that income is not bringing us peace, then the job is not doing its job.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
so
And can I ask something, Stephanie, based upon what I'm quoting you, you even said a job is not a good job if it's killing you.
that's right.
So that's the number one thing. And then if you say to yourself, oh, this is a good job with good benefits, but if you're accessing your health care benefits because of the stress of the job, that is not a good job. That was me.
Yes.
So I was like, this job is stressing me out. I'm working, I'm fighting to do the job. So that's not a situation.
That's right. If the job is the reason that you have high blood pressure and have to go see the doctor and get your high blood pressure meds, then maybe we need
Not
to
a good job.
Right.
we're starting at the source. Okay, we're smiling and we're laughing because it's real life, and sometimes it's easier just to laugh than to cry. Okay, we feel. Listen, friends, those of you who are watching this video, we feel your pain. We do. Okay, we're
Absolutely.
not smiling and laughing because we take this lightly. We're smiling and laughing because sometimes you have to. It takes those kinds of wording, that kind of wording, to put things into perspective. Like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe like I wouldn't even need this health insurance like this if it wasn't
Right.
for this job killing me. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And I'm laughing too because I'm on the other side, right? So I'm going through the healing journey. So I resigned about over a year ago. But I can laugh now because I've reclaimed my life back. I've reclaimed my health. I've reclaimed my joy. I can laugh about things that were devastating to me when I was in there. So I know what it's like. I'm not trying to none of us are trying to make light of it. And I know what it was like, that Sunday blues, that Sunday dread, that just the alarm will go off and I'll be like, oh my God, like that dread. I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about five. So we've come up together with 5 reasons that we Black women don't want to leave our job. And we're going to work through those things. And then please, friends, stick around to the end of the video because we're going to talk also about a solution, because we're not just talking about the problem. We're going to talk about a way that in 2 days you can have a solid solution for yourself. In 2 days, you can have a real plan to get yourself out of this situation. Okay? All right, so the first, and please, if you don't mind, while you're watching the video, in the chat, or in the comments, let us know what your reason is. If you recognize that your job is harming you, and if you recognize that your job is not adding to your peace, then please let us know in the comments what your reason is right now for not leaving. And let's see if we can predict it, and if we can fix that problem, right? We can give you a new direction to approach that problem, is what I mean. Okay. So the first reason I think that a lot of women aren't a lot of Black women aren't yet able to leave a toxic job, to leave or toxic situation, is that they don't know what it would cost them to leave the job, the number.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about the number, and how do we know what it's going to cost me if I'm going to walk away from this good paying job?
Yes. So that's one of the things that we cover in the financial masterclass is a survival number, right? We need to know, what is my number to survive, And when I was working with Dr. Kimani, when she was leaving her job, that was the question that I asked, how much do you need to leave, And so that means that we have to do something that we don't like to do. That means we have to look at the numbers. We have to stop avoiding. We have to take some deep breaths and get mindful, right? And mindfulness is not about judging, but it's more about like observing and just noticing, where is my money going? Right. And that does take some time, and we will work with you together, to figure out, how do I look at my numbers? And then you kind of come up with that number. Hey, this is my survival number. How do I have an abundance fund after that? And I call it abundance fund versus an emergency fund, because I'm not trying to manifest no emergencies. Okay. We want to live out of abundance, and living out of abundance means I have options, right? I have an option to leave that job. And so we have to look at that, and then we can kind of create that survival number, and it makes it easier for us to create a financial timeline for when you should leave your job.
Good. All right. So once we know a number, we then coming up with that number also gives us an idea of how tethered we are to our job because of things like our insurance and our investments.
Yes.
So the next problem then, I think, that might pop up once we start figuring out our numbers is my investments and my life insurance and my
Yeah.
health insurance are tied to this job. So
Yeah.
that means we probably should just stay there.
Yeah.
No.
Well, can I add, there's another layer too, right? So there's the avoidance of looking at our money, because we all have a money story. I've talked before, I've got some money traumas. We all got a money story. So we avoid it. So then in our mind, we think, oh, I can't afford it. But you really don't know. You really don't know, because you don't know what the number is. So when I was working with Dr. Rosché, so I was in a coaching program with Dr. TK, and then I met Dr. Rosché. And so I knew I had to leave that job. I knew it. I was like, I got to get out of here. I got to figure out how to replace my income. So then I went to coaching, and then I was with that coaching program. And then she brought in Dr. Rosché. Now she's a financial psychologist. I need to talk to her, because I need to figure out how to get my money together so I could leave. The biggest issue that I had while I stayed there for way too long was the fear of finances. How am I going to pay my bills? And so I knew what I needed. So I found Dr. Rosché, or she was presented to me, and I started working with her. And when she asked me that question, it was like almost panic. Like, how much money do you leave? I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was the first step in terms of confronting my fears. And that's something we talk about in the masterclass.
Yeah.
How do you confront your fears to even find out what the survival number is? Because you don't even know.
Right.
You have it in your mind, you can't do. But Dr. Rosché told me, she said, girl, I think you're going to be okay. That's what she said. She said, I think you're going to be okay. You can leave. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that we do. So I'm a person who will avoid some stuff. I have no problem, right? So we do avoid the numbers, right? We do avoid looking up the numbers, but when we do, it's almost always better news than we thought.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
we can catastrophize like nobody's business,
Right.
right?
Exactly right. Yes. Only the worst case scenario in our mind, right? So that's why it goes to like, I'm gonna be homeless. Now my kids ain't gonna have a place to stay. Like all these things.
That's right. Yeah. So that's a fear. That's a fear, right? One of the 5 fears that we hear a lot is, this is my only way to make money. This job is the only money I know how to make. No, I'm not
Yes.
going to get any more money again. And so this is my only hope. But we know Black women, we know that what you know how to do is not tied to this particular employer. And the way that
Yeah.
you make money is not, the way that you make money now is not the only way that you can make money.
And that's an irrational fear that's based upon our social programming. So we've been taught in this capitalistic society that you have to grind and you have to hustle and you have to work all the time. And then when you think about, for us as Black people, particularly in America, we've been sold the lie, which is a straight out lie, that Black people are lazy and Black people, we built this country. How are we lazy, right? But we built into the lie that now we have to prove to other people that we're not lazy. So who's benefiting there?
Yeah.
We're the loser. We're the biggest loser, right? You keep falling into this lie that I got to prove to other people that I'm not lazy, that I'm not this, I'm not that. They are benefiting off of our labor. So they're exploiting our labor, and we're buying into that irrational fear that this is the only way we can make money. And it's dangerous to have just one stream of income. It's dangerous because what happens when that one stream of income goes away? So that's something we talk about also in the masterclass. How do you have multiple, as you say, multiple rivers of income, right?
Yeah.
For Black women.
That's right. So, Roche, do you find that most of the women who come in, most of your clients who come in, have more opportunities to make money than they realize?
Yes. And so that's why, we kind of go over, I call it your price tag, meaning your value, right? The acronym of tags: T, talents; A, abilities; G, your gifts, right? The things that are natural to us, right? We all have all of those things in us. We have our tags. However, how do we monetize them? And I think that's where we get a little scared, right? So we take the time to let's look at what are your skill sets that are transferable for that job, and be able to transfer it to a potential business or just even a stream, right? Doesn't mean that you don't have an employer, but now you have a couple of streams based on your talents. And then we monetize that and we can feel good. It's enough money to actually take our survival number. So now we're like, we don't have to be at this job. It's a choice if I want to be
Yeah.
here or not. Right. And that's what we're trying to get people to get to.
Once a
Yeah.
Black woman is in a position to question leaving a job, right? So I've worked at different pay levels, right? When you're at the lowest pay level that I've ever worked at, it was really easy to leave a job. Okay.
Yes.
Right? Really easy. They're not paying me much. You paid in Doritos. It's easy for me to quit, right? But once we're in a position where it's more of a problem, we're also in a position to have a better skill set,
Yes.
go elsewhere and make more money. But we're forgetting that part. We're forgetting
Yes.
that
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that you talk about the talents, abilities, and gifts. What
Yeah.
we know, by the time you're a Black woman who is making any amount of money, you have the talents, you have abilities, you have gifts, you have a
Yes.
network, you
Yes.
Yeah.
have you have resources at your disposal that can
Yeah.
help set you financially up somewhere else.
Yes.
Yes, I
Exactly.
did a video about this recently on my channel, and I talked about what are the three ways that you can replace your income. Really easy. First, what is the lowest hanging fruit? So, what do you already do at that job that you can do somewhere else? You can get another temporary job. You can pivot to another job if you want to do that. You can create. But what's the lowest hanging fruit? Also, there are people at your job who are looking at you, and they're like, "Oh, Stephanie's really good at this." And they will start bringing opportunities your way. Be open
Mhm.
to that. The third thing is there's other things that you have, other skills you have that maybe you don't utilize at that job, but you
Mhm.
can utilize at a different job or with your own business. Those are three easy tips about how to replace your income. There's another way.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
quitting a job in the world of catastrophizing, quitting a job equals I'm gonna be on the street.
Right.
Yes.
But in the real world, okay, in the real world, for
Yes.
Black women, quitting a job can very well mean I'm going to set myself up to be in a better position,
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
to have better income streams, to be better compensated in my own job, and to be treated better as well. Leaving a
Yes.
job is not going to a worse position. We're not leaving jobs to get in worse situations.
Mm-mm.
We're leaving
Yes.
jobs and improving our lives.
That's the only
Yes.
thing we're
And
doing.
not to
Yes.
dread not any day of your life because of a job, and not to have a job consume your whole existence. Like you said, Stephanie, that video, that Black Women Leaving Toxic Jobs video, oh my
Mhm.
God, I think we're at like over 800 comments. And the comments, but you see there's similar patterns,
Right.
the similar
Mhm.
themes, right? In terms of dreading the work, the disrespect, the physical, the profound physical and mental health issues as a
Mhm.
result of there's another way.
Yeah.
There's another way.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about I don't know what it would cost me, and we've talked about how you can figure out that number. It's not
Yeah.
there is an actual number. There's an actual
Yeah.
number that will tell you when or how to prepare to leave, and you can
Yes.
figure that out. And then there's also the no other money is going to come in ever in my life if I leave this job.
Mhm.
Both of these things are very figure outable. But the
Mhm.
Yeah.
number three reason that Black women are hesitant to leave a job that is in putting them in harm's way is that they just don't have time to figure it out. They're already
Mhm.
burned out, already
Yeah.
stressed out, already exhausted, and now you want me to sit and figure out this major life change
Mhm.
on top of all of this. So
Yeah.
what is the path from I'm extremely burned out to I'm leaving? if
Yeah.
you're so tired that you don't know that you can even figure this out for yourself.
Yeah. For number one, pay attention to that. That's a sign,
Mhm.
right? And so I'm just quoting Octavia Rahim from Exodus Summit, how she's talking about the first step to rest is pause. So as Black women, we have been fed the lie and we believe the lie that we're so busy we don't have time to rest. Let's reject that lie, okay? The first step is pause. You can take 5 minutes out of your day and just pause. When you pause, your soul is going to tell you how you're feeling. Your soul is telling you you hate that job. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to that, right? That's the first step. The second step is, I would absolutely say, therapy. Okay, I'm a therapist. I'm a therapist who has a therapist. Okay,
Mhm.
therapy, because therapy provides an opportunity for you to talk to someone who is objective, who can talk to you about what you're going through and can reality test with you.
Yeah.
Because part of the danger of being in a toxic job, they're gaslighting you. Then you start gaslighting yourself. Did I do that? Is there something wrong with me? That's very dangerous,
Yeah.
right? Therapy. The third thing is saying, okay, I want to get out. How do I get out? I need help. I need somebody to help me, show me how to get out. Coaches, masterclass that we're talking about. Seek that support. Fourth, if you're seeking that support, just like I work with Dr. Rosché and I pay Dr. Rosché, you have to pay for services. You have to invest in
Yeah.
getting out. And five, I just say, just do it. Like Nike, just do it. Okay.
Mhm.
You got to walk through the fears. That's something we talk about in the masterclass. It's how to walk through the fears. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, you're going to sign up for the masterclass. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're not going to have fears. The fears are going to be there.
Yeah.
Right. But still walk through the fears because it's so much better on the other side.
That's right.
Right. They're going to walk with you no matter what. But I think it's also a mindset change on like understanding an investment versus an expense.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
And so when we think about like coaching or even therapy, we see it as an additional expense. I don't have nothing, no more to give. Right. But you have to understand it's an investment. Right. And what does an investment do? Like you make this one time investment, but it's going to continuously pay you over and over and over again. There's a rate of return that is, crazy. So if you're able to go to therapy and you're able to develop peace and develop coping skills, how long is that going to be able to take care of you? Right. If you
Yeah.
decide to come to a master class and you learn about your finances and you leave that job, how long is that going to continuously give you, more rates of return? It's going to be
Yeah.
interest on interest. It's going to compound on itself. Right. And so that's what we're looking for is this is an investment in you. So you don't actually have to take as much time, right? You technically can learn anything. We in a Googleable, YouTubeable place, right? We can learn how to do anything that we want to do. But if you have like a coach and you have a program, then that means that they say success leaves clues,
Yeah.
right? That means we already know the success formula. So it's going to take a lot less time to get there.
Yeah.
So that's what you pay for.
That's right. So
Yeah.
tell us about the masterclass that you two are hosting.
Yeah, so we have a financial masterclass. It's going to be January 3rd and 4th, and it's going to be for 2 hours each day. So I know it's 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time both days, so 4 to 6, which is what 7 to 9 for
Yeah.
the East Coast people. So that's what we'll have, and in that masterclass we cover confronting your fears. What are those fears that are happening? Developing a vision around like what do you see after leaving this job. A lot of times we don't have enough time to even be creative enough to even think about a vision, right? And once we have a vision, then we can create a plan. And then we talk about the practical steps. So you had mentioned earlier in the time, like about rollovers. What do I do about rollovers? What do I do about life insurance? Well, I can teach you. We're actually going to go through that and teach you how do we deal with rollovers? Where do you put your money once you leave the job? What's going to happen to that investment? I don't know, right? So
Right.
now I'm going to be able to teach you. So now you don't have that fear around the unknown. Life insurance is not normally portable, meaning it doesn't leave with you from your job. So how do you get your own life insurance? And how does that, you hear the people say, become your own bank. Teaching all of those kind of skills for people so they can actually have that. And then, of course, we're going to talk about how to like monetize all those talents, abilities, and gifts so we can make some money as well as managing it a little bit better as well.
That's right.
Yeah. So absolutely your health insurance too, right? So life insurance, your retirement, your health care. What are the different options for you? So we want to show Black women there there's another way. You have other options. And then what we've talked about before is not only those multiple streams, those multiple rivers of income that you can have. So you can decide as a Black woman, do you want to go into another job? That's your option, right? Or if you want to create your own business and or have a side hustle. But all of that is available to you in the masterclass. And that the masterclass is Zoom webinar format. And we have it in that format because we want to protect the privacy of all women who come into the masterclass, all Black women, because we know that we have realistic fears that people are going to find out we're in the masterclass and we're trying to go like a plantation, like we're trying to escape. So we're trying to minimize that. So nobody will be on screen except for Dr. Rosché Brown and I. And your names will not be listed. If you want to say something in Q&A, you can change your name or you can share your name if you want to. But you really have those privacy, security considerations in mind as well.
That's good. So can you tell us, this is pretty soon. This is January 3rd and 4th. And those of you who are watching the replay in the future, still go to the website because you may still be able to get something.
And they get the replay too, right? So if they missed the live, they can also get the replay, which is an advantage as well. But you want to be a part of the live because the live is, it's more exciting. But you can also get the replay. And you can give somebody. So you can give somebody the live and you can give somebody the replay. So during the checkout process, it asks you, is this a gift for someone else? And it's very easy in terms of how you can gift another Black woman.
Wonderful. So the link to join your masterclass is in the description of this video. So friends, click, and I'll put the link on the screen as well. So friends, click the link in the description of this video to go ahead and sign up. Can you tell us who is ready for this class? Do we need to have a foot out the door already? Is it too late if I have a foot out the door already? What if my job's not really toxic? I just want to leave it. Who should be coming to this class?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we cover actually a financial timeline anyway. So if the people need to leave right away, we actually tell you what to do. So we're able to talk to those people. If it's some other people oh, I can stay another year. We also create a plan for you. So that's actually part of that. And then we're actually launching a community, the Liberation Community. So to continuously to help people as they're going through this process. So it's going to be launched right after that financial masterclass because we realized that our last masterclass, everybody was still chatting and talking and developing, connections. So we're oh, they still need this. And it just keeps you to hold you accountable to, your dreams for yourself and what you actually want to have,
And they were asking what's next.
Yeah.
In the math, okay, what's next? What when we're gonna meet again? What's happening, right? And then the Liberation Community, again, is for Black women, and it's no matter where you are on the continuum, because we know leaving a toxic job, something like you just said, it can be I'm not liking this place, to I hate this place, to I need to get out of this place, to I've already left, but I still need support. So during the masterclass, Dr. Rosché was talking, I'm taking notes. I've already left. I'm still taking notes because there's still things I need to work on. So it's for Black women, no matter where you are in the continuum, but you have a circle of support from other Black women who are there to support you. And Dr. Rosché and I will continue to share information. So we'll have monthly speakers coming in. We'll also do a celebration for every Black woman who's able to liberate themselves. We have a dance party for you, right, to honor you and to celebrate you. Yeah. But it's also an opportunity to share resources with one another. So it's a community to support one another.
I'm so glad you're adding community in because it's hard to do a new thing on your own.
Yes.
It's really hard to make a change, especially those of us who are starting out believing that this is just how things are, right? This is just how jobs are. It's just going to be like that. It's really hard to go from that place to no, I don't do that. I don't take that anymore. I don't stay there. I found a new way out without community, without some people who are 2 steps ahead, without some people who are right beside you. So I'm so glad that you're adding that in. I'm glad.
And you know what? Can I add something else about community? So we wanted to add community because when I was in that process, what I realized is that there's some people around you who are not going to get it. No. There's some people around you who are going to project all their fears onto you and try to convince you to stay there, right? You need to be in a community of people who get it and who want to support you and really prioritize you need to do what's best for you,
Yeah.
and not take in all those projected fears of people who might love you and care for you, but they're projecting all their stuff onto you.
That's right. So we're getting to the number 5 reason that we have decided that some of y'all are afraid, or either afraid to leave or think you can't leave, but that, those are false, right? So we
Yeah.
already talked about the money. We already talked about the time. I don't have time to figure it out. We've already talked about the other things that are attached to our jobs, our investments, our insurance. The the final thing I think is, but what does quitting say about me? I think this is particularly problematic for Black women, right? What does
Yes.
it say about me that I leave this good job? What does it say about me that I leave this job that is so like service related, or jobs in the helper
Yeah.
jobs, is really
Yes.
Right.
Black women to leave them because we think that it's a judgment on us and who we are as people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of times people's identity like are definitely like connected to their jobs, right? Or even just the
Hmm.
fact like we're psychologists. Oh no, am I not going to be a psychologist if I leave this, this work environment? But you are who you are, right? And so now it's really kind of like understanding what your true identity is and how it's not
Hmm.
tied to this job. There's a guy named Tony Gaskin who says like if you don't build your dreams, someone else will hire you
Yeah,
to build theirs,
yeah,
right? And
Yeah.
so we're in a place right now like of like figuring out what is your dream, and is it even tied to this job, and how do we start to develop an identity that shifts right now,
Yeah.
a shifting identity into like really having your dreams come true.
yeah,
Yeah, and the part about the job defining you, like we've just talked about, but sometimes we become so immersed in believing that the job is the only place where we can do this type of work.
yeah.
And that's not true, right? Or the because you had a difficult time with that job, and I hear this a lot from Black women, does that mean I need to leave the field because of what happened at this job or several of these jobs? And so I know I was there because I was thinking, out of all I had to go through to become a psychologist, I was literally thinking, maybe I don't want to be a psychologist. Maybe I shouldn't be a psychologist. Maybe this is not for me, right? But when I left that job, I was like, I love being a psychologist. What the heck? I love being
Yeah.
a psychologist. So getting that back. And then I want to quote my dear friend Colette Elizabeth, who said, sometimes the strongest thing you can do is to walk away, that we are not quitters for taking back our power, for
Yeah.
stepping away from things that are killing us. You're not a loser. You're the winner there.
Yeah.
Okay. You're the loser when you say, because you're losing your health,
Yes.
your peace, your joy, all those things. That's what you're losing by staying there. You're winning by taking your power back, getting healthy. That's why I take Black women on the journey with me, getting my hair back, having my hair grow back, right? All these things I'm taking you with me because I want Black women to see by my example that you can leave. And that was the strongest thing I could do. I
Yeah.
was done fighting with these people. That was the strongest thing I could do.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so friends watching the video, friends in the community, how did we do on guessing guessing the reason that you're not yet planning to go? And if you have a different reason, let us know in the chat. Okay, if you have a different reason, or if we touched on your reason and you're ready to work on that solution, let us know. Okay, and then join us in. I'm sorry. Tell us the name of the masterclass one more time. I'm sorry, friends.
Yes, it is to get your money right and leave that toxic job financial masterclass for Black women.
All right.
January 3rd and 4th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 4 p.m. I'm not going to do all the time zones, but I'm just saying. So 7 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern, Zoom webinar format. No one will know you're there. Dr. Rosché and I are only people on the screen, okay? But January 3rd and 4th, early registration is going on now until January 1st. After that, it's going to go up. And I just want to say, get your ticket, because I was telling people previously, get your ticket. It's open. And it wasn't. It was closed. It was full. So get your ticket before it sells out like it did last time. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead and take that action, all right? Because as you can see, there is better on the other side, but you don't get to that, right, until you leave the side you're on. You got to get on the bridge. Let this masterclass be the bridge that takes you from where you are to where you want to be.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and finally, friends, let us know where else we can find you. We'll see
Okay.
you in the masterclass, but where else can we see you?
You can find me on Instagram, Dr. _Rosché. So you can find me on Instagram. I'll be with Stephanie Perry to get my YouTube popping at one point too. But right now, you can find me on there right now, or
Wonderful.
drrethinking.com, drofrethinking.com.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rosché. And Dr. Kimani, where do we find you?
Yes, I'm most active on YouTube due to Stephanie Perry. So I was in Stephanie Perry's YouTube challenge over a year ago, and I always give you praises. I want to give you your flowers, Stephanie, because when I was in her class, when I was in Stephanie's class, Stephanie came around and she was asking all of us, what are we going to talk about? What do you want to talk about? What's your channel going to talk about? And I said, I don't know. I think I want to talk about Black women toxic jobs. Without a moment of hesitation, you said, girl, do it. Do it today, right? I started talking on YouTube. So that's where I'm most active. It's on YouTube. I have over 300 videos now talking about Black women and toxic jobs. And I focus on helping Black women leave and heal from toxic jobs. The healing really doesn't start until you leave, but maybe my channel, maybe my videos, when you see me talking, all the guests that I have, it might be an opportunity for you to get the courage, right? So if you're dipping your foot in the water, watching my videos might help you get the courage up so you can eventually get ready to leave. So again, my YouTube channel is Lifting As We Climb Consulting Wellness Services.
Thank you, friends. Of course, all of the links are in the description of the video. Okay, go ahead and go to the description of the video, click on the links, subscribe, follow them, but also go ahead and get your ticket to the masterclass. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Share this video with a Black woman you know who is ready to get her coins together, get her money right, so that she can leave that toxic job, so that she can heal and thrive. Thank you kindly.
Yes.
And thank you, friends, for being my guests.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much for
Stephanie.
having us again.
I'll see y'all again soon.